Hey everybody, just checking in with today's daily update and the weekly recap. There's probably two things you'll immediately notice compared to yesterday's video. The first is probably the colours, and then there's a few small draw order bugs. Now, with regards to that, I changed the way the objects are sorted before they're put through to the GPU. It's not anything too major to worry about. I just need to change the priority for a few, you know, a few sprites, which nothing to worry about. Just not quite finished yet. That's all. The other thing is the colors. So I changed the way that the pixel shader calculates the color for each pixel, and it's now multiplicative rather than a linear interpolation between the color I provided and its source color. And overall, I think it does look much better. It's just that there's a few things that might still need to be a little bit refined. But overall, these colors here are a lot nicer to me, and I think that's gonna, make a difference. So yeah, that's been a bit of work today. Now, the other sort of things I've been working on today are this thing here, which is the projectile object you'll be using, just referred to as a puck because it's pretty much that. And you can sort of change the respawn location of it by moving it to a new box. I'm thinking maybe I want to make that coloured, or maybe not. So, given how thin it is, I'm not entirely sure that it would come across very well in gameplay. But we'll see. Now, each puck has like a sort of starting health value. So you can see this one's got one dot in the middle. That means it's got one health or sort of one movement before you fire it off. So if I move, that's it down to nothing, and then if I push it again, it's sort of shot out of view. It doesn't really show up on the player very clearly at the moment. If you look, you can't really see the dot in the middle, but I'm thinking that'll be resolved if I make the player just draw a little bit bigger on the screen. Because at the moment they're taking up a very sort of small portion, so not too much to worry about there. Now, as I say, there's a few small draw order bugs, but this seems to be working fine. Now, I change colour as I go through it, and so does the puck, and that obviously can be used for some pretty cool puzzles later on. There is one more object to go with this that I've not quite finished. I got the sort of interactions with it and everything sorted out. It's just literally the draw routine that I had not quite finished off, but not too much to worry about there. Now this thing here, this is something I'm sort of tentatively referring to as like a speed box. If you touch it, you go fast, and you can do a quick turn in here as well. So if I press down while I'm in it, you can see I sort of change to that direction, and I think that can be used for some pretty good puzzles, especially if you're going for like a sort of timed segment. Say I push like a button or something, that triggers one of these to open up for a brief period of time, and then you've got to go fast. It can be a pretty good platforming puzzle, or just platforming segment even. Now this does apply to the puck as well. So it sort of maximizes its speed. Again, the draw order is a little bit messed up, so that's fine. But yeah, if I bop it in at sort of a low speed, it goes very fast out. So if I just tap lightly, you can see it accelerates. Again, that is color coded, so if I push it into that one, nothing. And same with the player. So if I go through here, you can see nothing. Nothing of note, so that's pretty good. So yeah, in terms of objects, I'm pretty happy with what's been done today. This puck took me a lot longer than I'd hoped it would, but that's okay. At the end of the day, it was a very good experience learning how to do something like this, and I think it's done pretty well. It's not flawless by any means, but definitely not unhappy with it. So yeah, all good on that front. With regards to level design, I'd say I've now designed about 40 levels in total, with a few more ideas sort of floating about, but I didn't really get those onto paper by the time of this video, and I needed to get this out before I was done for the day. So yeah, overall I think some very good progress coming along. I'd say I'm very much on target, and even if I'm not, then I'm more than happy to spend a few extra days just sort of going over a few things and sorting out, any small things that need to be done pre-release. So yeah, overall, I think good, solid progress. So if I close this down and I whip up the old notepad, here we go. So these were the goals for week 2. So week 2 goals. And if I zoom in for you, just to make it a bit more convenient. So yeah, first of all, finish classes for regular interactable objects. I actually came up with, as I say, 1 or 2 more that I want to implement. So not quite there, but mostly there. As I say, I'll just sort of finish those off tomorrow, pretty much, like the barrier, make it draw. And yeah, there's a sort of timer I want to make that handles, that sort of increments when you press the Z key. So it'll capture the Z event and then sort of alternate between the two, and then I can use that to send, like a barrier flip every other Z press, for example, which could be, pretty cool for maybe at a later level, more interactivity. I went to do this earlier today, and then I thought about it, and I thought there's not really much point at the moment until I've implemented some levels, so that I can have a continue option that's actually meaningful, that I can actually test and try out. And I want to add a level select as well for all the levels you've completed so far. So I've not bothered to do this yet. As I say, I thought about it for about 5 minutes and then moved on with my day. So that'll probably be something that I actually take and I move over to week 4 for when I've got a lot of levels sort of more implemented. With regards to level design, I wanted 100 done. As I say, I've spent a lot more time out and about this week, unfortunately, than I would have liked. So I've got, 40 to 50. I think I could probably crack out another 60 or so over the course of the next week, while I'm implementing them. So I'm not too worried about, where I'm at with that. With regards to starting implementing, didn't really get to do that. I think I took probably a lot longer on sound than I wanted to, and that's a sort of major cause of why I'm sort of a little bit behind on that. But as I say, I'm not overly concerned about that. I don't think it'll be too much of a rush near the end to get everything done. So looking at week 3, all I've got here is implementation of level design. Now, what I really need to do is sort of add to this. So first of all, I need to finish objects, additional objects, because there's like 3 left. And I'm thinking about doing particle effects and basic sound design next week at the start, rather than leaving that until the last week, because I think it's something that actually will be pretty critical. So basic sound design, if I move that to here, I might, it might be a better experience in the meantime. So I think that's probably going to be my my sort of week 3 goals, rather than just leaving that stuff till week 4. I feel like that'd probably be a big undertaking to do all in one week. So if I can get the sort of basics on that done now, change this from additional particle effects to particle effects. There's going to be a fair few of those that I need to add, because I think that's going to be pretty much adding the spice into the game, the thing to make it look pretty and make it visually appealing more than I hope it can already be. Speaking of visual design, I do also want to add draw backgrounds into this list, which that'll take 20 minutes at most. Yeah, very simplistic, not really too much to it, so not worried about that. With regards to this then, I'm going to add this to here, finish implementation of level design and that into code. Going to get rid of this from here because that should already be done. In terms of the puzzles I've got designed so far, I think, to be honest, there's no real major sort of theme. There are varying difficulty and puzzle elements, so it'll just be a case of when I get to it, I'll sort of sort them out and figure out which one goes best where, and then from that I can, hopefully fit it all together. Either way, I think in terms of what I aimed to do this week, I wasn't expecting, you know, sound system implementation to be done this week. So that's great. Glad that's done. Yeah, I think overall good, solid week, given the amount of time that I'd sort of not been spending on it. Yeah, in terms of week 3, very achievable. Happy to get cracking on with that. So yeah, good review. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.